The battlefield reeked of ozone, scorched metal, and the faint, coppery tang of blood. Explosions punctuated the acrid air, shaking the ground beneath every soldier's boots. Jonas Reed, a human mercenary caught in the middle of a planetary skirmish, dragged himself over debris, each movement a battle against pain and exhaustion. He had been separated from his unit, alone and outnumbered, and now survival seemed almost impossible. His sidearm had long since jammed, and the alien enemy forces, a horde of reptilian warriors, were closing in. Jonas knew he had minutes, maybe seconds. Yet, he forced himself to keep moving, limping across the cratered landscape, desperate to find shelter. Suddenly, a shadow fell across him. He looked up, expecting a predator, but froze. Towering over the battlefield was a 9-foot-tall alien figure, her scales shimmering in shades of deep emerald and bronze. Her eyes, golden and luminous, locked on him, not with hostility, but with intense curiosity. In her arms, she cradled weapons like a mother would her children, yet she did not seem threatening. "You shouldn't be here," she said in a voice that rumbled like distant thunder, yet carried a soothing cadence. Jonas, stunned, tried to respond but could barely croak a sound. Fear warred with awe. He had never seen a creature like her, not in documentaries, not in simulations. She was massive, imposing, and yet comforting. Without warning, she reached down, scooping him into her arms as effortlessly as if he weighed nothing. The impact sent a shock through him, but it was accompanied by a warmth that he could feel in his chest. "Hold on," she murmured, and with a swift movement that blurred the battlefield behind her, she darted away, placing herself between him and the enemy. The alien warriors pursuing them hesitated. They had faced humans before, but never one carried by a creature of such stature and power. She moved like a tempest, each step crushing debris, each swing of her elongated limbs felling attackers like twigs. Jonas clung to her, marveling at her speed, strength, and the gentleness with which she carried him. Who are you?" he managed to ask. She looked down at him, a faint smile brushing her massive, scaled lips. "I am Kaelara," she said. "I protect those in need." Jonas wanted to laugh, to cry, to ask 1,000 questions, but all he could do was hold on. The battlefield seemed to blur into streaks of color and smoke as Kaelara moved with an almost impossible grace, avoiding blasts and swipes with ease. Finally, she deposited him behind a jagged boulder, her long tail curling protectively around him. She scanned the battlefield with sharp, calculating eyes. When one of the alien warriors lunged toward them, Kaelara's claws sliced through its weapon arm in a single, fluid motion. The enemy fell, and the others recoiled, instinctively wary of her. Jonas realized he was trembling, not from fear, but from awe. I can't believe you're real," he said, his voice hoarse. Kaelara crouched slightly, bringing her face level with his. "Believe it," she said simply. "But now you must rest. You are badly wounded." He winced as he touched his side. The burn of blood and shrapnel confirmed her words. I can't just hide here. They won't get you," Kaelara interrupted, her voice firm. "I won't let them." And with that, she scooped him up again, moving toward the remnants of a ruined alien transport. Jonas realized with shock that she was taking him to safety, an area untouched by the battle's chaos. As they moved, she whispered quietly, a tone of reassurance in her rumbling voice, telling him to stay still, that she had everything under control. By the time they reached the transport, Jonas was trembling from exhaustion. Kaelara gently laid him down inside, scanning his wounds. Her fingers moved with surprising delicacy, tracing cuts and bruises. She applied a strange, luminescent gel that immediately began to close gashes and ease the pain. Jonas gasped. What is this?" he asked. "My people call it life essence," she replied. "It heals, protects, restores. It can save those who would otherwise perish." Jonas's fear and awe collided. Why are you helping me?" Kaelara's eyes softened. "Because you are alive. That is reason enough." For the first time in what felt like hours, Jonas allowed himself to relax. He realized that she wasn't just a warrior, she was a mother in the truest sense. Her care was instinctive, protective, and completely selfless. Hours passed, and Jonas recovered under her watchful gaze. She prepared nutrient-rich food for him, teaching him how to eat it, and spoke softly about her world, her people, and the battles they had endured. Slowly, he began to understand her. Kaelara was not merely a soldier. She was a guardian, a nurturer, and perhaps the only being capable of blending immense power with gentleness. When the alien forces regrouped and threatened to locate them, Kaelara rose to her full height, a terrifying silhouette against the dim sky. Her roar echoed across the transport, shaking the ground and sending her enemies into retreat. Jonas watched, heart pounding, as she displayed strength and command that made even the most seasoned warriors pause. Later, as the night settled over the battlefield, Kaelara returned to his side. She had created a small sheltered area within the transport, lined with soft fibers from her own lair. "You need rest," she said. "Tomorrow, you will walk again. Tonight, you heal." Jonas lay back, overwhelmed. He wanted to speak, to express gratitude, but words seemed insufficient. Instead, he simply nodded and closed his eyes, feeling the steady presence of the alien mother beside him. He realized that for the first time in days, he felt safe. The following morning, Jonas awoke to find Kaelara preparing a ration pack. Her movements were methodical, almost ritualistic, as if caring for him was part of her very being. "You're awake," she observed, her golden eyes studying him. I don't know how to thank you," he admitted, sitting up slowly. She smiled, a rare warmth in her fierce features. "There is no need. You survived because you allowed yourself to be cared for. That is thanks enough." As they stepped out of the transport, Jonas saw the battlefield in a new light. The devastation was immense, yet here, protected by Kaelara, he felt a spark of hope. He had been rescued, healed, and nurtured by a being whose strength was matched only by her compassion. Jonas realized that humans often prided themselves on resilience and ingenuity, but Kaelara had shown him a different kind of strength, the courage to protect, to care, and to nurture even in the face of overwhelming danger. He looked up at her towering figure and smiled. "I guess I owe my life to you." Kaelara chuckled softly, the sound resonating like a protective drumbeat. "Then live," she said simply. "Live, and remember the kindness shown to you. That is all the thanks I need." And as they walked together towards safety, Jonas knew that he had encountered something extraordinary, a bond forged not through bloodshed, but through care, courage, and the quiet, undeniable power of compassion. For in the chaos of war, it was not the strongest who survived, but the one who had someone strong enough to stand beside them. And for Jonas, that someone was Kaelara, the 9-foot alien mother who had saved him from the battlefield.